Well, the first thing you got to know about me is I'm not a morning person. I start early, but it kills me.
My name is Eamonn Quigley. I'm the co-director of the Linda K. and David M. Underwood Center for Digestive Disorders at Houston Methodist.
These are our offices.
I'm also the chief of the Division of Gastroenterology and Hepatology at Houston Methodist.
And here we are. Welcome to the mess. This is where I hang out. As you can see, it's not very tidy, but it works.
I am a creature of habit. I tend to come into work at the same time every day and go home to more or less the same time every day. So every day I either see patients or perform endoscopy. I'm also still involved with national and international societies, which involve Zoom meetings, of course, and nowadays on a fairly regular basis. So the week is pretty full, but it's still, the core of what I do is still seeing patients in one way or another.
Hello there. How are you? Nice to see you again. How are you? It's been a while. So how have you been? Any numbness, tingling,
So I was
needles?
born in Ireland. I went to medical school in Cork in Ireland, which is my hometown.
Now, how's your appetite been?
I liked GI problems while I was a medical student, and I actually particularly liked pathology. And one of the things about gastroenterology is you get an opportunity to see pathology in life through the endoscope. You actually see pathology in front of you, and that always appealed to me.
Right, Alberta, ready for another wonderful day?
Always ready.
Yeah.
It's always a wonderful day here.
Yeah.
My name is Alberto Barroso. I'm a gastroenterologist here at Methodist since 1983. Dr. Quigley is a pioneer in GI physiology, also called neuromotility, and particularly in functional gastrointestinal diseases, involving particularly the study of the bacteria in our intestines, the microbiome. He's certainly a name that's recognized throughout the country in every GI division that I know of. And looking at his CV, you can see that he has been to every major country in the world and spoken in every major meeting that I can think of.
When we look at what's happened over the last few years, none of it would happen without all of you.
I'm Dr. Vincy Abraham. I'm professor of clinical medicine here at Houston Methodist. I've known Dr. Quigley for over 10 years now. Dr. Quigley's expertise is in neurogastroenterology. I must say that he's an expert in this because he has the patience, meaning PATIENCE, to manage these patients with these chronic conditions and help them not from GI symptom alone, but also how it affects their brain and their nerves as well.
Something for you to sign in here.
And I have something for you.
You do? Oh. All right, is this all of it? I'm Donna Ruddle. I've been at Methodist for 11 years. And with Dr. Quigley the entire time. I mean, I don't know how he keeps the pace. He is just like the Energizer Bunny, just here, there, and everywhere. And I mean, he just amazes me.
Are we in this one? Hello there. So I was reading the notes. You were in the hospital for 5 days. And you,
Dr. Quigley gets the patients that no one else can find something wrong, you know.
A blockage.
He doesn't want somebody else's diagnosis. He wants to figure it out.
Yeah, and none of them made any difference.
I think the patient, all of them just love him because he figures out what's wrong with them and they usually get better.
I was very fortunate in that my parents were physicians and my father was a country doctor in Ireland. His only tool back in those days was listening and examining the patient. That was it. He had no x-rays or scans or any other techniques available to him. So I learned from him a lot because I used to go on house calls and I met his patients and I learned the respect that they had for him. And that came from the fact that he listened to them and knew them, knew their families, and that had a big impression on me. And my mentors, the mentors who most impressed me were those who had that fantastic rapport with patients, whom patients trusted because they listened to them, they understood them. Gastroenterology is built around certain techniques, and endoscopy in particular. And there is a temptation to make endoscopy and doing endoscopies on patients the focus for your activity. I think that's a mistake. because endoscopy is performed because a patient has a symptom or has a disease or a condition that needs investigation. So don't confuse endoscopy with all aspects of managing disease. Similarly, a disease is not an entity out in a vacuum. A disease is a problem for an individual patient and their family. So I think you've got to go all the way back and then understand, what are the patient's symptoms? What are the symptoms that bother them most? And then what impact are they having on their daily life?
Is the pain still the main problem?
Because only then can you begin to develop a treatment plan and help them. And I think that's as important nowadays as it was ever. And I think that's an aspect of medicine that is greatly under threat. With our focus on technology, on diagnostics, on AI, whatever it is, I think if we lose that ability to sit down and talk to patients and listen to them, I think if we lose that, we lose everything.
Maybe a little better,
I'll take that.
about the same.
I'll take a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I came here, it was just myself and one other person. Two of my former fellows from my time at the University of Nebraska were actually here, and they both kind of approached me and said, look, there's this opportunity coming up. They want to develop a new GI program at Houston Methodist. But when I came here, I realized what a unique place this is. And that's what happens to everybody. It's hard to explain Houston Methodist because, it's not a typical academic medical school setup. It's not private practice. It's somewhere in between all of those things. And to explain that to people without actually getting them here, and to see the size of the place, the quality of the medicine that goes on here, the academics that goes on here, it's very difficult to do that unless you come on site. And that's what happened to me. I came and actually brought my wife with me. We now have 31 providers. That includes physicians and nurse practitioners and physician assistants. We have a fellowship program. We will have up to 12 fellows, including the 9 general gastroenterology fellows and 3 advanced fellows. But a lot of the stuff that gives me satisfaction is to see other people in the group or in groups that I've been involved with becoming successful. I've mentioned, for example, inflammatory bowel disease, growing that program to be nationally, internationally recognized, being the first center in the US to introduce ultrasound for the evaluation of inflammatory bowel disease. That's been a great success story for us. And it really has put us on the world map. The same can be said for some of my colleagues who do advanced endoscopy, who are doing techniques which are really at the cutting edge of endoscopy here at Houston Methodist and getting recognition for that. But of course, areas that I've been involved in myself, such as looking at the microbiome and in irritable bowel syndrome, developing a probiotic when I was in Cork, which actually is one of the most widely used probiotics around the world, and seeing that develop and grow has been great satisfaction. But very recently, I was involved with a multi-center study which evaluated this vibrating capsule for treating constipation. And that actually led to approval by the FDA, and that's now on the market. Seeing things go from idea to clinical trials, which can fail or they can succeed, and going through all of that process. But in the end, seeing something out there which actually is helping patients, that's what really makes all the difference.
Dr. Quigley is the prototypical example of leading by example. He's here at 7 in the morning or earlier. He's here all day. He does everything that everybody does. And many of the people that are in his position in GI and other fields would sort of sway away from taking care of patients to devote themselves just to their academic interests. And Dr. Quigley is not like that. He's not just a researcher in the standpoint of being in the lab doing work. He's in the hospital seeing patients. He's in the endoscopy lab doing procedures. And he's meeting with us in conferences and in the halls at any time we need. He also rounds with internal medicine residents and medical students. So he covers the whole spectrum of education in medicine as well as in gastroenterology.
I really feel that Dr. Quigley is an amazing leader. He is someone who doesn't micromanage, but really allows us to flourish in all the areas that we want to achieve. He really is humble for all his accomplishments.
A lot of those would have just...
And he's just the kindest man. He's always accessible. His door is always open to his physicians. or to anybody. When my husband was in the hospital, my husband had COVID he was in for 21 days, and I had COVID too, so I was at home, and so Dr. Quigley went and saw him in the COVID unit every day and would call me and report how my husband was doing. And he would tell the doctors there, he'd say, you better get this guy through this because this is somebody special. And it's just like, I'm sorry, I'll tear up, but that meant so much to me.
For someone who is a great leader, it's also nice to see that there's a funny side to him. I still remember we had a fellows party at my house, and my kids, they were younger at the time, loved to play Dance Central, which is a video game. And we had a competition at the time it was fellows to faculty. And I still remember Dr. Quigley dancing off to one of our former fellows. And I still can't remember who won, but I think we may have to give him the honorary winner approval here because it's so rare to see your chief actually dancing in public.
So undoubtedly, the job is great fun for me because otherwise I wouldn't still be doing it.
Okay.
There are many things that get me up in the morning, get me to come in, and get me to leave with a smile in the evening. Probably tired, but smiling.
So we're just going to go in and see something. We'll be out in a minute. Okay.
It could be making a diagnosis for somebody which has not been made before, and that diagnosis actually leading to treatment which has a successful outcome for them. Those things are very satisfying. It's also tremendous fun to see your trainees grow and develop as they go through our program and to see them succeed in their careers thereafter.
Any associated nausea or vomiting?
It could be in academics, it could be in private practice, and to have them come back and say, look, I really appreciated the training that you gave us while you were here with us.
Sometimes the right
And of course, then there is the other satisfaction of seeing a research piece that you've been involved in appearing in a leading journal, seeing it presented at a major meeting, and getting feedback from others about the quality of the work. There are recognitions that I've obtained which meant a lot to me. I was awarded the Samuel Weiss Award by the American College of Gastroenterology, and when I got the plaque, it lists all the activities you've been involved in the college. I didn't realize I'd been involved in all these things. I think my involvement with the college and with the World Gastroenterology Organization are some things that I've taken great pleasure from, and I hope that I've made an impact, and I hope that there is a legacy there that will go forward after me. I hope that here and at Nebraska, where I was also division chief, and back in Cork, where I was dean, that I put things in place that are durable and that have made an impact, whether it is encouraging research and curiosity among medical students or encouraging robust educational programs or research. I hope that they are durable things that I've at least fostered.
That's it, another fun day.
At the end of the day, it comes down to your interaction with the patient. And that's a very privileged position. It's a very intimate position. You're seeing people at their most vulnerable at some of the most difficult times in their life. That's the hallmark of Houston Methodist, the highest quality of clinical care, and that is the real differentiator. Yes, there's wonderful research going on here. Yes, there are great educational programs, but none of these would exist or would have reached the standards that they've reached were it not for the core excellence of clinical care.